said May 17th, so.
But hey, have you?
Now, am I correct in understanding that you can schedule a bulk pickup with Republic anytime through the year and not just on these heavy pickup days? Okay.
There's certain there's a limitation to this. Like,
To what?
You couldn't put out, you couldn't shove your whole garage outside.
Oh, no. No.
But
No.
they will.
But they'll pick up an item.
Yeah.
Okay. At other times besides. Okay. Because I don't think that's well known.
So what is it, Dave?
May
May
17th.
17th.
So that's you all selecting it, that's not,
Is that a Saturday?
No, that's them selecting
okay,
it.
so then we need a motion.
Okay, we need to discuss the Easter egg hunt.
Oh, motion to
Oh, we
May
have to have a
17th.
motion for that?
I
thought-
would.
Okay.
I'll move that we accept May 17th as our heavy pickup day.
I'll second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the Easter egg hunt.
That is just stating that, let me get the, March 20th will be the Easter egg hunt this year. That's Saturday. I'm sorry. Yes.
We missed it.
April 20th, and it'll be held at the Shelter House, and that's with the church and the town together sponsor that. And you guys have done an ordinance a few years ago, allotting $500 to go toward that, and then the church picks up what else, that we do that. So that's what it will be for, so.
That's the Saturday before, that's the day before Easter, right?
Yes, it
Okay.
is. Yeah. At 1 o'clock is what we've got it set.
Thank you.
Now, Nickel Plate did call me and they asked me what the town does for Easter, and I told them, so I haven't heard back from them. I don't know.
There needs to be some communication there that they can't just show up with 100 extra kids.
Exactly. So I'm thinking about calling them and saying, hey,
Yeah, it's like for,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, so,
unless they donate.
Right. Yeah,
No.
they need to know that
Yeah.
if it's part of this.
Becoming up.
That's part of the town.
Beer
Yeah.
dairy is what it's becoming.
Did you have anything on
Oh,
festival?
God, yeah.
May I go back to some old business? The property on Railroad Street, do we have any more information on?
I had talked to Caitlin about that. I did call Jennifer Pickett at
Okay.
Arcadia. And what they did with that property was they did a, tax sale. They bought it in tax
Yes.
So there are three, there
Yeah.
are only three ways you can do it. You can,
But
eminent domain.
Andy was saying a
Buy
quiet
it.
title.
That's
Doesn't
when you
make any
have
sense.
a right to it already.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So it's either
Okay.
a tax sale, you buy the tax sale, you can collect your lien on the tax sale the county puts on, you can buy it, or you can go through eminent domain.
So the threshold that I was talking about was there's a procedure if the property's over 25,000. I think this one should be probably a little less than that, considering all the improvements are already removed. Because if it's over, then you have to get two appraisers, and then you have to offer at least the average of the two appraisals. So I guess what we need to know is anyone in contact with the owner of the property?
Why don't we just foreclose our liens?
You can.
Let's just do
You
that.
can do that.
Foreclose
You
our
get
liens, and
12
if
you
that
get
You'll get
works at
that.
the sheriff's sale, we can just,
You get 12,000
Yeah.
back through foreclosure if,
or we could buy it at the sheriff's sale,
or
right?
you
Yes.
can buy it at the sale.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we need to do. I'm not buying this property from the owner.
yeah.
Where is
I
this
think
at?
that's.
Nick's old house at
So
the,
his
What's
old place
wrong? The
where
house
we
is
tore
gone.
down.
Across. Why don't you ask him if he'll just donate? In lieu of all the other
It has a
expenses.
pretty hefty tax bill too.
Yeah.
When we looked at it,
It has
what was it, 12 grand?
something. It was
It was a lot. So you're gonna end
For
up,
2 lots.
even on a tax sale, where you're gonna be paying a little bit for it.
In any case, we get our money back, whether we end up owning this thing or not. We'll get our money back out of it.
So do we want to decide to go ahead and foreclose tonight?
Yeah, I don't know how we do that.
South of.
What's all that entail, man?
Well, I need to go back and see if you guys already
North
filed
of
a
Ernie's
lien,
house.
because I was involved for that process. In order to foreclose it, you need to have filed a
House is
lien
still
on
on
it.
now. The 2-story.
Otherwise, there's nothing to foreclose. And the next step would be alerting the county to put it on their next tax sale roll. And they provide the notice, they provide all that stuff, and you guys just show up, be one of the bidders.
And I think Robin did file those.
So I saw
So we need to
some of the
verify they're all
liens.
up to date.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, right.
And then the other thing is, since nobody takes care of it,
We
while
take,
that process is going on, we'll be continuing to mow as, you know, we get into the season here. So are we just eating those 3 or 4 months worth of mows?
At this point, yeah, because it's not, by the time you get to
Yeah.
the tax sale, you're not gonna be able to lean those in time.
That's fine.
So I'll look over everything, see what else we need in terms of that, and then we can just make sure everything's in order and go ahead and advise to give to the county and
So how do I
Tax
put this
sale.
in a form of a motion to foreclose tonight? Or-
Yeah, so you just authorize us to move forward with,
Okay,
actions proper to move on foreclosing the lien.
I'd like to entertain a motion to allow legal counsel to check it out for us.
I move to let them advise us.
Here, a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I got one more old business. Sorry.
Can I interrupt one second?
Oh, yeah.
So just to close that issue, if it ends up on the tax rolls for tax sale, we'll need to have another authorization at whatever meeting that will be to authorize up to a certain amount for somebody on behalf of the town to bid at that tax sale. And you need to be there. You need to be present at the tax sale with readily available funds is what it means, which is essentially cashier's check. But that'll be a separate process.
So it's, I'm aware of that.
I have a question. Are you talking about where the dentist office
No.
sits right now?
No.
No,
Where are you talking about?
on Railroad Street, right back down here,
Where the house was
White
torn
House was
down.
Tore down.
Right across from the fire station,
Okay.
east of the tracks.
behind
What
the
about the
building.
empty lot?
That's it, the empty lot.
No, I'm talking the empty one at the corner of Broadway and Coughlin.
Okay, we're talking about one
That's a
building
totally
tonight.
different
Let's
person.
move on.
Oh, it's a different person.
That's his brother-in-law's place over there. His-
Oh, 2-hour parking, that was the other old business
Yeah,
I
you
had,
had
whether
another
we were,
question about old business, 2-hour parking.
yeah, that's,
Was that voted on last?
No.
I know
No.
Barry
No.
brought
I was
it
gonna
up.
review it some more. 3 hours seems like a better number to me. But whether we wanna do that right now or not, I do think that we need to have no resident parking on Main Street. I think that'll
At
clear
all.
up quite a few spaces around. So
I believe
that's my
that's in the
opinion, I
book.
think. Well, yeah,
now is that for
Certain
all of
things
Main
are-
Street
Yeah.
from Broadway to Walnut.
to Walnut, so that doesn't,
It's in our ordinances.
okay.
Business district.
Right.
Okay.
Business district. That'd open it up a lot. I mean, we've got a lot more traffic in town now than we did a few years ago.
And you want to change it to 3 hours.
Well, first and foremost, I think we need to make, I didn't review this part, the resident parking, but if it doesn't explicitly say that for the entirety of the business district, we need an ordinance that says that.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we need to get those vehicles off the street. And then maybe we can look at I think 3 hours is a good time for parking. That'd be my suggestion.
And whether there's going to be regular enforcement of that, so that people get the message and get the
And it-
ideas.
Certain
and the
people,
way that
yes.
works is it doesn't take much. So
I understand
talk
that.
to her and get her to come out for a day or a
I
few
mean,
days or something.
even if to push it like every week or so, so
Yeah.
that people get the idea that this is not just something that we've said, this is something that we're gonna enforce, and that you need to do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So do y'all want me to draft any ordinances, or do you think you'll keep looking into it?
If the one already exists, we just need to make sure it's
Amend
enforced. I know it pertains to the apartments here in this building here because it was constructed after a certain time, just due to our zoning.
Well, and Alvarez is there by the,
I
Post
don't think there's
office
anything that
is 2
explicitly
hours.
says no resident parking in our parking ordinance, so
Okay.
we probably need to, it probably will need to be added.
thank you.
Do we need a motion on this proposal? Or what?
I'm just taking under advisement. I mean, I haven't drafted anything, and you all haven't taken any action to pass anything, so I can just
Well, we might
keep
as well
working on it.
try and do it all at once, so
Yeah.
no resident parking between Broadway and Walnut, the business district, and with the exception of is it 3 spots in front of the post office?
Technically, there's
Well,
only
it
one.
says property line, the post office property line.
Yeah, but
So-
they just marked it for one for 15 minutes when they first set it
We'll
up.
say 2. 2 spots in front of the post office is 15-minute parking, all the rest 3 hour.
Now, I might ask you, Murray, would the public library pose a problem? I mean,
It's on the
because
other
it's
side.
outside
It's north of
library,
it.
that wouldn't be,
It's on the other side of Walnut.
okay.
It's outside of that area.
So you guys are talking about no resident parking, 3-hour parking, and then 2 spots of 15-minute parking.
Right, and the 2 spots of 15-minute parking are already defined in the ordinance.
Okay.
So I'm saying the 3 hour would not
They even have a sign at
Mm-hmm.
post office.
You guys can just authorize me to review the ordinances and drafts, or review what's on the books now and draft something to present to you guys.
I move to authorize her to review the ordinances and prepare something for us.
I'll second it.
Does that handicap spots have to be included in that?
No, because they're not resident.
If it's already in an ordinance, we would just have to say that this one doesn't affect that.
Okay.
So
So
we
there's
just,
a second, did Jody second it?
yeah, we need an all in favor.
Okay, you need all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
And
passed.
it's in a parking schedule.
Okay.
So it's
I
probably
think
just
that's-
changing
okay.
the
Look at it.
specifics around here.
How does that affect Mr. Muffin parking in front of that down there and in front of the restaurant?
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Well, he's not a resident.
No, but he's gonna be parked there all day long, 'cause
Well, he has a parking spot,
He has parking at both locations.
Yeah, and he's got parking behind
And
him.
back.
too.
he has parking,
But see, I didn't wanna say
facilities.
no property owner parking, because then you wouldn't be able to park out there, you know? So I think the resident thing makes the most sense, and if he ends up.
But now, I'll say something though about the post office parking, I mean, you know, variance. After hours, there's not that many people go over there,
Sure.
you know. So even of an evening, or let them park there, I mean, let the people park there no matter what. Because, huh?
15-minute parking during the hours of?
After 5 o'clock, there's hardly anybody goes over there, I can tell you that.
Okay. Well, would that be solved with 15-minute parking during the hours of?
Hours up, yeah.
And they're
Does
what,
it
8 to
currently not have
5?
that?
Yeah, cause that's the only time they complain to
I don't
him is
know.
because they can't get in there when
Yeah,
he's
that
there.
should usually be there, I think. I think that's how most places are with that kind of
We can
parking.
do 15 minutes for one spot. I don't know. It's not a very busy post office. It probably only needs a 1 spot anyway, doesn't it?
And only
One
while
spot.
he's there, while the hours are open.
Do
so
they
go
still
in.
park in the alley?
Yeah,
Park in the alley.
Yeah.
people pull up.
Some.
Yeah, so there's a
Yeah.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, does the council board have any more questions? If not, I'm gonna ask the guests if they have any questions. Yes, ma'am.
this is old business, but
Can
I
you give
just,
your name, please?
Charlotte Wilson,
Thank you.
just wanna know where we stand with the animal control issue.
Oh, I'd like to know too.
I-
Well, we're going on 7 months,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's the
And,
holdup?
and
The
I'm glad you
wheels-
said that. In the past month, each of my dogs has been attacked by
Yes,
another dog.
it's an issue that we need to take something done about it, I mean.
So
It's
I'm
a-
not accepting the answer any longer. Mark Airbrandt's working on that behind the scenes.
Yeah,
We
it's
need
7
to
months.
do something to compel the county to enforce state law, or we need to adopt their stuff and rescind ours, or I don't know what we need to do, but we need to do something.
In the past, they've said, you need to adopt our, in order for us to
However-
come down and enforce it, you have to adopt our.
Do they not have to enforce state law because they are, I mean,
Running loose.
Yeah, it's state law.
a lot of this stuff is state law. I
Right, I mean,
understand the issue with their county ordinances,
Yeah.
but state law can be enforced anywhere by any law enforcement
They
officer.
can as long as it's in their jurisdiction.
This is their jurisdiction
Right.
because we
Yeah.
contract with them for.
No, I'm saying
police.
the
Yeah.
answer is yes, it's just a matter of getting them down here to do it.
The fees associated with each dog or animal that's taken to the pound has been the concern.
Yeah,
And the way it stands right now, Atlanta cannot afford the fees that they want to charge. So until that gets taken
Yes.
care of in the background, okay?
It's
Well,
at the
just
Humane
charge the
Society.
resident. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
they need to just charge whoever drops off their litter of cats there.
They do that anyway.
Why does that fall on the town
What-
magically?
how-
if
how
we've
does
got a
the- how-
contract?
No, we have to pay for the dog they come pick up.
Yeah. If we call them, if the town
But-
calls,
But wasn't that one reason why we were getting our kennel fixed, so that
Yeah.
if there was a dog?
Well, that was
But we
for
don't have
those that were running
facility.
loose, but the ones that need to be picked up, like the ones that are attacking his animals or whatever.
right, but
They
Doug
need to
could
be-
still take those to our kennel instead of taking them to
Sure.
the Humane Society,
And-
so.
Ultimately, I need somebody to call. I promised Dee Dee when we hired her that she wouldn't be expected to be a dog catcher because she doesn't have
Right.
that training or equipment,
Right.
and we don't have those facilities.
So
Well,
how,
and that brings up another issue, because when I had the issue that day, it just so happened you were here,
Yeah.
you were available.
Right.
To my understanding, she's only a part-time person.
Sure.
So if I
It's-
run into this, which one of you
Same to
guys
you.
do I come banging on your door? You know, who's gonna take care of it, because I'm gonna call
I didn't-
animal control and
I
they're gonna
didn't-
say, oh, call town hall.
I didn't
So-
have anybody to call for either of mine. That I
Yeah,
had known.
we have an issue.
So, yeah. I don't know if there's a way to, we need to move forward somehow. Do we need to go meet with the commissioners? Do we need to get Doug back up here and meet with
that's
him
an
again?
idea.
I don't know.
Get him and the Humane Society lady up here
Uh,
together.
I
so
just
that
feel
they
like it's
can-
an issue that we gotta keep pushing on.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, everybody's just gonna let it go, and nobody's gonna do anything about it.
Right. Well, and the issue with your neighbor's dog that I helped with that day was, I mean, those dogs were in serious danger too. It's not
Yeah.
even a bite issue or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
who do you call when you see a problem with the animal that needs help?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, maybe we need to, can we recommend somebody from the board to go and set up a meeting with those people?
Have him come here.
Or come here, whichever they were willing to do.
I know that Doug would come up here anytime.
Oh, absolutely, but he's not the decision maker.
Right.
It's,
I'm gonna
it's the,
say that the commissioners will probably not be likely to come to our meeting,
but you can get on their agenda.
but we can get on their agenda to go.
we'd like to talk to the Humane Society lady too and see where they are in establishing the fees for these smaller communities up here.
Which is what
Because
we've
that's
been waiting
kind of the way
on.
I was understanding it, that's where the holdup was they were trying to work out a fee schedule that was not burdensome to the smaller towns up here.
But in the meantime, surely we can do something to get some enforcement,
Okay.
regardless of the Humane Society.
Doug
issue.
has, I believe Doug has said that he's willing to take him to a kennel here if we have one in place. So maybe
So
getting
in order
a
to do
kennel
that,
here,
we need to get our kennel fixed.
yep,
And then adopt their ordinance, I guess.
fine with
Andy's
me.
been in the process of fixing that kennel, but I don't
Yeah.
think
He's
it's
lost
ready
his
yet,
help
is it?
now. I don't know if this is, he did have somebody that was interested in maybe working 3 days a week. So he's working on that. He might have somebody to bring to us the next week. But, all right, so we'll try to work on that kennel and then get some meetings set up, I guess, right? 'Cause we gotta get this.
Yeah, because if Doug is amenable to taking him to our kennel, that solves our issue with Hamilton County. And then if we get our ordinances set so that, we rescind the old stuff and go with Hamilton counties, that should take care of the other part.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Thank
It was
you.
off of my list,
Thank
but I needed to be on it.
I'm a dog with a bone, I'm gonna keep bringing it.
You're not gonna bury it.
That's right.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions, anything they wanna talk about? It's getting kinda late, so if there's no more questions, can I get a motion to sign the claims and close the meeting?
I make a motion, sign
We
claims.
just have to, that's one up there.
Oh,
Oh, you just now hit one?
No,
No,
this
it's
one's
on
on
the
the
agenda.
agenda.
Oh,
Well, that's what I asked.
yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that I was gonna do is,
Oh, motion denied.
yeah, sorry.
motion rescinded,
Okay,
yeah.
very quickly, applications have been sent out, we're already starting to get them back, sponsorships are coming in. Bathrooms, have you
I've
checked?
got three, I've had a busy couple weeks.
Oh, I know, congratulations, he's a new
I've got-
yes.
I've got three calls in for other
Yeah.
kids. I don't know if
Okay.
they're meeting or not, but I should know this week.
Okay, and then this,
But I'm thinking the best way is gonna be the best, it sounds like, so.
and then the last thing is scholarships. So if you guys will look these over, we have to choose by our next festival as a date. So, and that's it, that's all I have now, you can close if you want.
I make a motion, close,
Sign the claims and during the meeting?
yeah.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting closed.